Hi, this is Debbie with the Food Prepping channel. And today, well, last night, I made a complete restaurant steak dinner. And I thought my daughter was coming home, and I taped it and all, and I'm downloading it now. It's been downloading for 18 hours, and I don't know what's going on. I've got a new laptop, and I don't know whether it's just not downloading it, but what I fixed was steaks using my New Wave and precision induction cooktop, and I used my cast iron skillet, and I fried or seared three steaks, and I cooked them for 12 minutes, 5 on each side, and then I turned it over one time and cooked it for 2 more minutes. And then I fixed baked potatoes and a big salad and Texas toast. And like I said, I thought my daughter and I was going to come home, and she didn't. So what I'm going to do today is I have these 3 steaks left over. I only ate like half of a steak. So I'm going to show you that these were a tougher steak. They were round steak, and usually you can make, if you find a good deal on round steaks and you want to fix them up, then get them, because you can take these, and I've got my pot here, and I'm going to go on and I'm going to add a can of beef broth, and I'm going to turn this on my New Wave induction cooktop. I'm going to turn it on 375 because I want this to get hot. And I'm using a can of peeled tomatoes with jalapeno peppers, and I'm going to put those in there. And then I'm using a large can of Hunt's petite diced tomatoes. And I didn't know until yesterday that you can even buy something like this, but Kroger's has the freezer bag of 3 pepper and onion blend, and this has green bell peppers, red bell peppers, and yellow bell peppers, and the onions, and I hope you can see in there, and it smells amazing. So I'm going to dump this whole bag inside of here with all the tomatoes. Oops. And then I'm going to put a lot of spices in this, because I'm going to let this just sit around and cook all day on a low heat. Even though these are cooked, I'm going to go on and I've got 1.5 baked potatoes, and I'm going to cut them up and put them in there. And the first thing I'm going to add is I've got a lot of spices that I'm going to put in there. So I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And let me see if I can get this out here. Oops, well, we don't have a steak. Let me put some of this back. Alright, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. I'm going to have to take the top off of this. These are all my favorite spices, so that's why I'm using them all. I'm going to use 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. I'm going to use 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. Well, I don't have 1/2 teaspoon. go on and put the rest of it in there. It's not that much left. Alright. Throw this away. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of celery salt. A half a teaspoon of onion powder. Well, let me shake this up. Alright, and I'm going to use this is smoked paprika that I got at a shop up in Floyd. It's from the Amish up there, and I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of this because I love smoked paprika. Alright, and I'm putting that in there. And I think I've got all my coarse ground black pepper. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of that because I love pepper. And then I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of salt. And everything around here it's been so humid here lately that everything around here is, and I can't do this. I can't use this because I put rice in this. So I'm going to have to use kosher salt. Alright, I'm going to use a teaspoon of kosher salt. A heaping teaspoon. And now I'm going to stir all of this together in here. All of these spices. And the beef broth and the jalapeno and tomatoes and the petite diced tomatoes. I'm going to stir all that up. And then I'm going to, let me put that in there. I'm going to cut this steak up. And when you have a tough steak, the best way to do it is to cut it across the grain. And the grain is going this way. So I'm going to cut this way across the grain. And I'm also going to start out by cutting it on the bias, cutting it sideways, just like this. And I'm going to take each of these slices that I'm cutting up, and I'm going to cut them in half and put these in the pot too. And you can see last night I cooked it, it was medium. I don't like rare steaks, as I said last night. But I'm going to put all of this meat, my hands are clean, I'm going to put all this meat in here, and I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to cut it down on medium low, which is I don't know, that's 175. I want it to stay at a low temperature all day and just let it simmer. And I'm just hoping that this is something new for me, and I'm just hoping this is going to be good and that I can tell you all and you can go along with me on this and see that this is good. But like I said, I'm going to go on and cut up the steaks. Slice up the steaks. Remember, you cut your knife, do your knife on the bias sideways across the grain. And I'm going to cut up the potatoes into small dices, and I'll bring you back. Okay, I wanted to bring you back and show you everything is in here now. I've got the tomatoes that I used, the potatoes, the steak, and this has an absolute, the soup part of it has an absolute amazing taste to it. Since I had cooked the steaks medium last night, there's not going to be very much juices coming out from the steaks. So I'm going to go on and add in 1 cube of beef bouillon. And because it needs a little bit of sweetness to balance out all the salt that's in it, I'm going to add in just, oh gosh, maybe just a little bit. You can see maybe a half a teaspoon, probably closer to 1/4 of a teaspoon. And I've got it set, my cooktop is set now on 220, and it is simmering, but I think it's simmering more than I want it to. So I'm going to turn it down to, I'm going to turn it to 200, and I'm going to put the lid on it. Let me stir it up good one more time, and you can see everything is in here. And when this gets closer to time for dinner or whatever, I'm going to add some frozen corn in here. And with the salad that I made last night, this is going to be amazing. There's so much you can do with leftovers, especially beef, chicken. You can do so many things. And with the right spices and the right flavorings, vegetables, your onions, pepper, celery, you can always make an awesome meal. So I'm going to put the lid on this and let this cook for on simmer for 3 or 4 hours, and I'll bring you back. Okay, I want to bring you back and show you. This is more like a vegetable soup. You can see it has potatoes in it and corn and the beef, and I did put some green beans in it. And let's see, I added a bag of frozen corn. Then I put about a tablespoon of ketchup. And then I put about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And then I put just a can of green beans in it. And it made a big pot. You can see it made a big pot of soup. I guess you can say soup, stew, whatever. It's really, really good. I've already tasted it, but I've been tasting it all along to see how it was going to be, but I'll just taste it for you now. You can taste everything in it. It's got layer after layer of flavors. It's really good. And I know it's summer and it wasn't supposed to be vegetable beef soup, but it is. I didn't put everything in there. It doesn't have peas in it or beans in it, or my mom puts macaroni in hers. I didn't do that. But it is really, really good. It's got a really good taste, and the meat now is, I mean, it just is falling apart. So everything that I did to it just enhanced the flavor of it all. And like I said, don't ever think that you can't do anything with leftovers, because you can do a lot. Just put your mind to it and get out your spices and put a little bit of everything in there and make something with it. And if you like this recipe, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and you have a good night. Bye.